4 episodes. Did you know going in that Meg was going to turn out to be evil and possessed, or did you find out when you got the script for that episode?
Yeah, I think when I first started it, we didn't know that she was going to be evil for sure. It was just sort of, I sat with dinner with Kim, and we said, he's like, well, we want to, bring on a female, and, what should we do? And I don't know how I came out. I think I even just said something like, let's make her, turn evil. And he was like, that works. And then we just kind of came up with it. So it did kind of develop, but I think, I just decided to go on the show. We weren't really sure what I was going to do yet. But this has actually turned out nice, so you guys like it, so I need to go back and be evil again, I think. Really evil. Well, yeah, so someone can grab her.
It had been about 2 years since you did on set Supernatural.
Yes.
How did it feel to be back? Felt like you'd never left. Did a lot change? Did the mood change the set atmosphere?
The only thing that changed was it takes Jared and Jensen longer to come out of their trailer. No, it was all the same. I mean, everything was just as it was when I left it. Guys were still the same, crew was still the same. Everyone got along, everybody was happy. I mean, it's the set is actually, for me, and in all the years that I've been in the business, and as much as I've worked, I can truly say it really is one of those sets where it is just an absolute pleasure to be on, because everyone gets along. And they're just, even when they butt heads or get into conflict or arguments, it's so small and minuscule, and you kind of have to sit there and go, did someone just fight? Or are they angry at me? Like, sometimes they'll say things to me, and I'm like, are you angry or are you not? If you're angry, be angry, But it's just a very nice atmosphere and very comforting.
What was the worst experience that you had acting so far?
Acting so far?
Yeah, in all your career.
There's a lot of years in there. I think in this movie that's coming out in Joyride, this has to take the cake. And there's a scene where I'm asked, did anybody see Joyride, the first one? Yeah? Okay, good. So you know what I'm talking about. Joyride is where the infamous Rusty Nail trucker terrorizes kids on the road, which I do every day anyway. But I had to go in front of the truck and strip down the headlights because he wanted to make sure that I wasn't wired. And I had on just sort of those shorts, underwear, whatever, and a bra. And it was below zero in Canada. And we started the scene at 10 o'clock at night, and we shot it until 7 o'clock in the morning. And it was a long scene. It was about 2 minutes because I had to walk in front of the truck, and then I had to go behind the truck and talk to the trucker, realize it wasn't Rusty Nail, run back, grab my clothes, run to the car, and the ground was frozen. So a second I would take my shoes off, and I would hit the frozen ground and know that I was going to be stripping down. It was really mentally exhausting, and I ended up getting pneumonia for 3 days after that. All 3 days. I had pneumonia for a while, but I was down for that. I couldn't work for 3 days. And so I was really sick, and I didn't feel good. I had to finish out like that, So that might have been kind of a hard experience. Not as the worst, I don't know. I think the movie turned out great, and I'm really happy that I was part of it. And so I got that. I just got a little sick doing it. You're welcome. Thank you for getting pneumonia, Nikki. So anyway, that comes out on in October 7th, so you guys should take a look at that too. Anybody else? Yeah. You? Hi, blonde? Yeah. This is kind of a silly question. I don't know if you've been watching Supernatural recently at all, but who do you think would win in a fight, Meg or Ruby? Who do you guys think?
Meg.
Absolutely. Okay. But you're right, that is a silly question. At first when you said it was a silly question, I was going to say, no, there's no such thing, but nope, that was silly. just the movie that I just finished, the East Berlin Woman from 1945. It was amazing. I got to work with Jordan Belfi, played my American soldier boyfriend, who, I don't know if any of you watch Entourage, but he's on Entourage. And if any of you know the actor Stephen Lang, who is a very, very famous, wonderful Broadway guy. So it was, the movie was sort of Shakespearean and a fairy tale. So there were these very big, long pages and pages of soliloquies and long monologues, and it was very challenging, and obviously a lot of creativity I was able to use on my part, and I enjoyed it. Even though it was just pages and pages of memorization every night. I was going to bed at midnight, getting up at 4 to study again, and then going to work all day long, because it was so much memorization, but it was challenging, and I'm glad I did it. But the Jeepers Creepers part was really fun too.
What was your very first acting job, professional acting job?
I did a movie called Double Tap, and it was on HBO with Stephen Ray and Heather Locklear. And I was, I believe, 20, maybe 21 when I did that. And it just sort of, kind of went up from there. But it took me about 5 years before I actually got to a level to where I worked on a consistent basis. I still didn't work all the time, but I worked consistently. I kind of started to realize, well, I'll get a job, I just don't know when. So it took about 5 years to get to that point. Yes?
Hi. I just had a quick question going back to Shadow.
Yeah.
Meg is dragged out the window and then, plummeted to the ground. How is that filmed with you, going across the hardwood floor and then out the window? How did they film that?
They put me on like a skateboard or something. I was on my stomach on a skateboard and someone pulling me back, I think, if I remember correctly. So that was pretty interesting. But I will tell you what was really interesting, and it was a blast, was when I actually fell out of the window. That was an entire day of shooting on the green screen, and they put me on cable wires or whatever, and then they hoisted me up in the air in front of the blue screen, and then they would say, all right, action, and then I would be falling. They had the camera above me or below me, and they shot it in all these different directions. But in between the takes, it was just. I just wanted to I had a plane to catch, so I just needed to get it done. So I just said, don't even let me down, because it was too much work to put me back up. I just would sort of sit there suspended in the air while they would change the camera. And they'd look up and say, are you okay, Nikki? You need anything? I'd go, no, I'm fine. Just tell me when. But that was a really fun day.
This is another silly question, similar to the Meg versus Ruby one. But
okay.
Who do you think would win in a fight, Meg or Castiel?
You guys, these are just silly questions. I don't know. Of course I'm going to say Meg. Meg is one bad bitch.
I mean, if she can beat up the guy, she can take the demons, right?
Yeah, exactly.
How, good was it?
Oh. Wow. Maybe she... to think about that.
What was it like working with Jonathan Breck on Jeepers Creepers?
Oh, Jonathan, have you ever met Jonathan at one of the things? He's really sweet. I remember that I was told, in the first Jeepers, that he didn't, I guess he didn't really talk very much with the cast, because he didn't want to be able to see, them to know each other. He wanted them just to only see him as the creeper. But whenever he did Jeepers 2, he had decided that he didn't want to do that this time, and he sort of hung out with us, and so it was really great. But he would just sort of be there in his costume, It's kind of hard to carry on a conversation with him when he looks like that. But really good guy, a good actor. Anyone else?
Of all the shows currently on TV, which On which one show would you like a guest appearance?
Of all the shows on TV?
Yeah.